Hey, Magic Makers. I'm Mom Virella.
And I'm CJ Peterson. Unfortunately, our co hostess, Yukita, can't join us today, but Yukita will be back for the next one next week. In the meantime, we have today a musician, David Saborio.
That's right. You said it. First time's the charm. You got it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll be talking to him in just a few minutes. In the meantime, get your wands to the ready because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. And of course, no good includes Comic Conroe, which is coming
Yeah.
this weekend.
This weekend, yay.
The 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah.
8th, 9th, and 10th.
8th, 9th, and 10th. Yep. Friday through
8th,
Sunday.
9th, and 10th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Keep in mind there is a M3 Magic Making Mischief meetup on Saturday, so get your Harry Potter gear. Come on, catch Mombi and Nikita down there and enjoy it and have some awesome fun down there.
Yes. And I have a Facebook event set up for that. So if you want to check in with that, the time is still to be determined, but it is coming up soon. So,
And also be aware that tonight is pre-recorded. We are not ignoring you. We'll be back at our regular scheduled time next week. So in the meantime, David, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to finally talk to y'all.
so
Awesome.
glad to have you join us. I met David at Anime Houston this last time, and he was set up in this room. I went in because I did not know all the panels and the things that were happening because there's always so much happening at this one. And he'd already started, and he has Anime Gone Metal, which is literally just like the anime themes and the songs and a metal twist to it, and it's awesome. I gotta say, I loved it. Okay, and I did get footage. I have not had a chance to share that yet. I actually have Anime Houston Date 3 coming up this week that I finally got edited. Sometimes I get bogged down at the end, and I do apologize for not getting that. But thank you for letting me share that because I will be sharing that coming up soon.
Oh,
So you
please, by
guys
all
can
means. Yeah, no, I'm actually, to be honest, I have like someone posted a video of the second day of Anime Got Metal, but you got the very last song, and I've been wondering like, how did I sound to the audience perspective? Like, was there a mistake? Because you know how musicians are, we're perfectionists, when we perform, and we're not listening to see how good we sound. It's like, oh, did I make an error there? Did I play a sharp four instead of a perfect fourth, or did I do a mixolydian instead of just a regular harmonic minor? I don't know, stuff like that.
Nice.
Well, we
Yeah.
are our own worst critic, so half the time nobody can even tell. So just kind of keep that thought in mind, unless you hit a really sour note, and then everybody knows. If you didn't get the E sound, you probably did good.
No, I think you definitely had a captive audience. I don't know if I got like all the full songs necessarily, but I definitely got some highlights. And I love live music. Like I have a thing, like I will share sometimes music events that I go to and stuff. And so I love whenever people get really into what they do, and you can tell that you were just you love what you do, and that's really awesome. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's one thing to be practicing or honing in on your art. It's another thing like to actually go on and perform because as a musician, or I guess any live performer in general, you try not to think about what you're doing, because if you think too much, you get lost in your own world, and then you start making a mistake. Then you make another mistake. Then you make another mistake, and then that's when, as you say, people do notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just, even if you're not 100% into it, act like you're into it, and you'll be golden. And I appreciate it, though. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I hope I get invited again next year, but we'll see.
So what is
Yeah.
it exactly that you do when you're saying anime songs into metal? What is it, and how did you come up with that idea?
Okay, um, so as you may know, I graduated from Berkley College of Music, and a lot of my friends or fellow peers, classmates, they were off doing their own thing, like recording a solo album or working with other musicians, getting hired as session guitar players or vocalists and whatnot. And yeah, they were doing live gigs, But me, I was thinking, well, what could I do? What could I do that I could stand out? Like, how do I take a passion of mine and make it into a niche where other people who, whether they're musicians or not, can get into? And I said, well, I like music. I also like anime. I like video games. I like classic cartoons that I grew up with. So in a sense, I pretty much went back to my roots and even my childhood, like my nostalgia, and just merged the two worlds together. And and I think that's what captivated the attention of audience members and con organizers, because they say, wow, metal anime songs put in a metal format. That's not a very common thing. That sounds interesting. I want to give this guy a shot. And lo and behold, it became a snowball effect, performing at Comic Cons and anime conventions and several other festivals. And that's kind of how it came to be.
That's cool. And how long have you been doing it?
Not, to be honest, not that long. I started getting into it around 2018,
Okay.
and then but it was more of an on and off thing. I would do one every 4 or 5 months, and then after I graduated around 2020, it was around 2020 when I started making it like more of a frequent deal, and so it's from 2021 till I guess last year of 2023, because Anime Houston was actually the last convention I performed at.
So do you have a lot set up for this year, or?
Oh, I do. I have a ton of new anime tunes that I've been prepping up. I haven't even released them yet because the way I work is I showcase them live first, then I put them on my YouTube channel afterwards. Once the people have a taste in the live performance.
So the live people
yeah.
get the sneak peek.
Yeah, exactly.
So how
But
long have you
I don't
been
know.
playing altogether?
Oh, playing in general. So I started playing guitar at the age of 8, but I started off as a classical player. So, and it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything too intricate. I wasn't playing any, I don't know, Leon Bauer or Francisco Torriego or any or Paulo Blanc stuff. No, it was just more like basic 2 to 3 finger trill songs and exercises that I got into. But at the time, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. No, actually, it was kind of brought upon by my parents. They wanted me to develop like an extracurricular activity in the arts, and so they got me my first guitar, which was a classical nylon string, and I forgot what it was called. I think it was an Echo Reconati. But it was fun for a while, but I don't know, the passion kind of died down. And when I was like 10 or 11, I started taking piano lessons because, again, I was not into metal or rock at the time, at least not the hard rock stuff. I was actually more into Barry Manilow, Donny Osmond, Electric
Really?
Light.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, yeah. And so
Wow.
so I started taking piano lessons and getting more immersed into the whole right hand, left hand, treble clef, bass clef material, and yeah. So and I've been doing that for how long? Like 4 to 6 years. And it wasn't until I was, I don't know, 14 or 15, where some of my peers introduced me to Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, Van Halen, Rat. And I said, "What the heck? Where's that music been all my life?"
Where's that been?
And so I told my parents, "Hey, I know I still have that guitar. That's probably just completely dusted into oblivion right now. But can I get an electric guitar?" And they said, "Oh, well, you're gonna have to work for that. So I'd have to do chores like mow the lawn, clean the house, get my allowance, so to speak, and save up for my first
So you
electric
earned
guitar."
that.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
real.
So my parents were like, "If you want something, you gotta work for it." And so I did, and I saved up for like my first electric guitar, which was a silver nickel gray Ibanez RG electric, and it was until then I started looking at I started looking at some transcriptions from Iron Maiden, Van Halen, trying to learn the guitar riffs, the all the chord structure, the solos, and I'd go the extra mile learning the vocal melodies and transcribe it on the guitar, you know. So I guess that's where you could say the contemporary guitar format of the anime gone metal and other music has come into play, because as you know, I am an instrumental guitar player. And then yeah, and after that, graduate high school, I go into Berkeley. I'm studying jazz, fusion, and other genres. Try to implement as much as I can into my repertoire. And yeah, the rest is history.
Nice.
Very cool.
So I was thinking what would be really cool is we've had Stephanie Dolny on our show
Yeah, yeah.
before. And she sings. I was thinking that would be so cool if like there was an event where y'all could be together and
Mhm.
like
We've
she
done it
could
before.
sing and you could play. Have you really?
Have
We've done
you?
it
Oh my
twice. Yeah.
gosh.
Oh, very
Yeah.
No,
cool.
that's awesome. I thought that the first
She
time
didn't
I
tell
saw
you?
you, I was like,
No,
I,
well, it might have been after or before. Who knows?
I don't know. It might have been after, or maybe like I thought of the idea and like maybe I don't, when did y'all do it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, when did y'all have that conversation? That's my question.
Well,
No,
I
that
was
was a
thinking
great
after.
idea.
Well, yeah, it was after Anime Houston. I was saying I actually think I messaged her and I said after this, I said Kimo Kawaii, y'all should both be there and do that. And I don't remember if she told me that y'all did that before. So was it
We
after
did though.
that?
That's the thing. Oh my gosh. I think she's ashamed of me. No, that's a joke. But no,
Nah,
Probably
she
just
we
doesn't.
slipped her
performed
mind.
twice.
She's got lots going on.
That is true.
Yeah,
She's always traveling. So
right. No, well, no, but we did perform twice. We performed at San Angelo Comic Con in late January 2023, and we performed at Anime Wonderfest up in Plano in November 2022. So, and we have talked about like doing a convention together. She tried to get me into Kamea Con again, because I performed there before, but we never met up at that time. And but it would be cool because again, we performed two of her favorite anime songs, which was Sayonara Bye Bye from Yu Yu Hakusho and Give Me Romance. I think it's the second or first ending of Dragon Ball.
oh
And
my god.
yeah, and she definitely knows how to put on a show, because before she was a voice actress, she was
Right.
a performer, a music performer. She was a vocalist, and she's probably one of the most versatile and prolific singers I've worked with, and I've worked with a bunch even in my Berkeley era. And she's got a lot of experience under her belt. Man, she's like sang through chord changes
Right.
and modulations like no one's business. I was like,
Did anybody
I was yeah.
did anybody
I thought
record those?
I know that's what I was gonna say. Is it out there? Have y'all shared it? Is it on your channel or anything?
Okay, well, there's bits and pieces on my Instagram. If you do have to scroll a little bit down, where we performed at Anime Wonderfest. That was the first time we performed together, and I think we ended it at the perfect moment. And I'll tell you just a quick funny story, a funny incident that happened, because our last song was Sayonara Bye Bye, the Yu Yu Hakusho thing, and as soon as I played the last chord, ending it on that cadence, that perfect authentic cadence, my D string, which is the middle string on my guitar, snapped. I was like,
No.
Oh no.
and
Oh my god.
Stephanie was saying, she didn't notice, because that was when we ended it. It was perfect, but she said, "So what do you think, David? Do you want to do another song?" I said, "I actually can't. My string snapped. I can't replace it, and my guitar's probably out of tune at this point." But it was a funny incident. But
Oh man.
and it's on my
That
Instagram. You
is
check it out.
funny.
That's funny. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh. Man, I thought I had a unique idea there, but I think that's awesome.
Oh, and I would love to work with her. Again, like at a con and live, and she's kind of been she every now and then she would get around saying, "Hey, we should write a song together, like do an original." I said, "Yeah,
Oh,
we should," but as you say, we're both really busy with our schedule and so forth. But
yeah.
Okay,
but
I
it's
see
definitely.
her. I see her, but I
Are
don't
you like
see where you guys sung. Am I missing it? I see the pictures of you and her.
It should be somewhere there. It should.
San
Yeah.
Angelo. Is it this one?
Now,
no?
I
Go to
didn't post any
Wonder.
video of the San Diego Comic Con. It's in Anime Wonderfest, so you got to go like late November 2022.
Okay, where am I at?
So yeah, I thought that was such a good idea. See, I did have a good idea. I just was a little late on the draw for it. Okay.
No, you did. It was, yeah, and again, I would love to work with Stephanie again, and
That's awesome.
we're
We
trying to make
actually
it.
we've had her on here. We actually had another
I'm
uh
not finding
person
it.
on here that you might find interesting. I don't know if you know James Rivera,
Mhm.
and he's like Texas metal legend, original, Texas metal
Vampiro.
legend. Yes, Vampiro. James Rivera was on our podcast October, I think, last October.
Yeah, we did it for October because it was scary.
That would be an interesting that'd be interesting to have uh him sing, because like you're talking about ranges and stuff. That man has an amazing range. Like
Well,
he actually
shoot.
he studied opera, so like he has like an amazing range.
Wow.
That explains it.
Craziness.
Well, so what is he, like a soprano, a contratenor, or somewhere around there?
He I don't know. I don't know the actual like label for it, but like he can hit some high notes that we love. Like he's got several bands that he's done, and even now he's in like I think four. And so we're listening to Black Wings of Solitude, which is Hellstar, and he wrote that one himself. But like there's this high note he hits in that one, and it's just like that is a really good note. And my son was kind of talking about it. He's like, "Well, if you hit me in the right place, I could probably hit that note." I'm like, "I don't think you
Oh,
want to do that.
Kind of
I
where
don't
my
think you
brain
want
went.
to do that." Oh, so yeah.
man. And
So, quick
I'm pretty.
question. You mentioned piano and now you've mentioned guitar. Are there any other instruments that you know how to play?
Yeah, yeah, I do a little bit of bass guitar, and honestly, as far as instruments go, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm just two string instruments and one key. I've done a bit of vocal training before, but I would never go as far as to call myself a singer or a vocalist. But I kind of understand the gist and the concept of it. But that as far as my musical abilities go, those would be the holy trinity, so to speak.
So, what is your favorite of the anime songs that you do?
Favorite anime songs? Man, that's a good question. Um, okay, I would say up to um up to this point, it's always been, and I think probably always will be, the opening for Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, because
Okay.
it's one of the few anime songs that wasn't written in Japan, but it was written by some of the greatest composers ever, like George S. Clinton, who he wrote the score for. I think it was that classic Michael Keaton movie Jack Frost, and
Oh,
and I think the Christmas Carol for the Muppets. But I had no idea he also
good.
took part in doing the score for the opening of Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was like, well, that explains why it's so good, because he's using because he's using the elements of harmonic minor, which is it's a minor scale that sounds very Egyptian, to
Mm.
capture the theme of the show, because it takes place in between modern Japan and ancient Egypt, but he's also combining it with natural minor, which is that climatic, that epic sounding key that a lot of people today just love and can't get enough of. So I personally, from a musical standpoint and as a fan, I would say, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's a lot of fun to
Mm.
shred over. Yeah.
Nice. I am not like I like some animes, but I don't have as big of a selection of things that I know all of them. Like my daughter's way more into more of a variety of anime than me, but I definitely recognize Pokemon and the Legends of Zelda ones that you did. Those ones stood out to me. I was like, okay, those I know.
But wait a minute, hold on. Okay, yeah, Legend of Zelda was cool. That was because I did Song of Storms, but the Pokemon, I didn't perform that until the second day because I don't think that was in my list on my set list the first day.
I could
So
have sworn I remembered that one being there. Maybe I peeked in on the second day. I couldn't stay though because I actually had something that I was supposed to go to, so I might have actually caught some of it the second day, but I didn't record it though. If I did, oh man, now I feel bad.
I
'Cause I
might
do remember
actually,
that.
I might have actually recognized those, and I don't watch anime, so.
yeah,
You know,
and
I think
you
that
know,
was that. I think that was the second day I peeked in and caught it. I don't think I was sitting there recording it. Now that you say that, I was like, but that whole week, I was there the whole weekend, so like it kind of mashes in my brain. So
And you
that
slept
makes
since
it
then, so that's a thing too.
multiple times.
oh, and yeah, that's funny because I also did a couple tunes that weren't anime and weren't video game. Like I did do the Power Rangers theme, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You did do
I
that.
think I might have. Yeah, that was but I performed that the second day. But yeah, it's funny because
Uh,
even people in the anime community, they know that they know that tune. Everyone knows that tune, right? Um,
right.
but and that's usually my final song or of my set list.
I
But
remember now.
yeah,
I caught like a sweep of it the second day because the room was more crowded, and I wanted to catch a sweep from the door at least, even though I couldn't see it. That is what it is. Yep, yep. I remember that.
okay, nice.
I try to get an overview every day I'm there as much as I can, but like I get caught up. My ADHD kicks in or something. Like I'm chasing squirrels, but usually they're dressed in cosplay. So
Yeah, if we
I'm trying
need
to
her,
get pictures.
I don't even bother trying to look because chances are if I go to look somewhere, she's either just been there or she's actually literally zipped past me and I never saw her. So I just call her whenever we're in the same
Pretty
place.
much. Yep.
That's a thing. So quick questions because we're kind of are running low on time. One thing I want
Sure.
to ask is, do you have any advice for just people who love their instrument, want to play it, and may want to somehow make it part of a career for them? Like, what advice would you give them on how to even, just embrace that portion?
Well, I think you kind of gave the answer there. Okay. The number one thing that every person needs to think about, especially if you're a musician, is love your instrument. Regardless of where you stand in your key view of success. All right. If you love your instrument and have that flaming passion that constantly gets you driving, that's you're guaranteed to live a more happy and fulfilling life.
Mhm.
And if and that would be, I guess you could say that would be half the answer. And then the other one would be, even as cliche as it sounds, um, just follow these two rules, okay? So rule number one, don't give up, never give up. Rule
Hmm,
number two, remember rule number one.
nice.
As a fellow creative, it's not a musician. You don't want me to play anything right now. Um, I, I have to agree with those.
Yeah, as well. Me as well. I tried piano once though, and I learned I don't have the patience for it. So
I can chord. I did do band in high school, and I'm working on, as this is the part you don't want to hear, is the violin. Kind of sounds
I
like
would love to learn the violin.
Samson scratches, but you know,
I
I'll get
do love
there.
to sing though. Like I used to be very into vocals and singing, and I actually tried to take it for my college degree at one point, but like when it got into music theory and having to do a lot of the more technical stuff, I don't know if like my mind can't focus and keep track while we're there, but like I did not do well with that part. I just like the functioning part of actually getting to sing. It's very therapeutic to me.
So I have another quick question. I don't know if it's quick or not.
Sure.
So we know you do the Comic Cons and you do the anime armor stuff.
Mhm.
How does that translate into a real world career for you? Like, what is it you do in the real world that you apply the guitar to, or your music
Okay.
love of passion to?
Right. So, as much as I do love, the anime, how would I say, the anime entertainment spectrum, and and the Comic Con atmosphere, I mainly do small time gigs. I would appear in like jam sessions. It's not even metal. Like sometimes I'll go to like a blues jam session and jam out with other musicians, um, and just have a good time. Sometimes it's paid, sometimes it's not, but that doesn't really matter. But when it comes to other events, I actually just got done performing at this metal fest up in Frisco, Texas, which is part of the Dallas Metroplex, called Red Metal's Eve.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, and I only played, and I only played maybe one or two anime songs. Everything else was just traditional metal. Like I did a tune from one of my Berkeley professors, who's the real shred lord, Joe Stump. If you guys never heard of him, I would definitely check him out, because I learned a lot from him. He's the reason why I got more into like the speed style of playing and shred stuff. But so I did a couple of tunes from him. I did a Gary Moore tune, which was more of a rock ballad. I also did. You're not gonna believe this. I actually did an Irish metal tune, because
Oh,
Did you
St.
nice.
Patrick's
really?
Day. Yeah,
Awesome.
and I'll
That's
probably post a
cool.
video.
The
Yeah,
Irish in me
you think
says yay.
That's awesome. Okay,
yeah.
I would say if you've never thought about doing it, you should do like some of the old Disney ones too,
Mhm.
because I think that would be really cool.
Just flip them to your spin of the metal.
The
That would be
metal
super cool.
style to it, that would be awesome. I would love that.
That would be that's a challenge for you, but that would be cool.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because is Pirates of the Caribbean Disney now? Is it part of the
Yes.
Disney stuff? Okay, so I've done that. I did that before. So,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
Nice.
yeah, but there are several Disney tunes I think would have a great it would be a great twist, making it into a metal rendition. And it's definitely crossed my mind. I just got a lot of projects that's kind of like kind of finishing up where I left off, but that is a good direction to have. And
That's cool.
uh, yeah,
So,
I'm definitely not ready.
quick question. What's next for you Comic-Con ways?
To be honest, I have no idea, because I haven't gotten invited to any other Comic Cons, at least not as of yet. But I will.
Comic-Con people, take note.
Yes.
You want to get a hold
So
of him?
yeah, no Comic Cons, no anime conventions at the moment, but there is another metal festival coming up, and I'm not sure if it's also going to be in Frisco or more in the Dallas area, called, oh gosh, I'm probably going to say the name wrong. I think it's called Summer Face Melt Metal Fest. I think that's what it is. That's
Nice.
going to be at the end of June. Yeah, it's a
Summer
Nice.
mouthful.
what?
Summer
Yeah,
Face Melt Metal Fest. Nice.
yeah.
I hope that's the right name because I love that.
I hope so too. Otherwise, oh boy, the organizer's going to kill me. But no, as of now, you know,
So if
I'm not
there are
really.
so if there are any Comic-Con coordinators out there who are looking for talent, how do they get a
Anime
hold of
cons
you?
too.
Yeah, they can find me on YouTube or on Instagram or even Facebook. I mean, I'm a very open guy. I'm always happy to talk to new people, regardless of their background or or their interests. I'm really, beneath all this hair. I'm quite approachable.
Very cool. Well, David, thank you so much for joining us today. We are unfortunately over time.
No
We
worries.
appreciate you coming and sharing your talent and sharing your advice. For next week, stay tuned. On the 12th, we're going to have Vermilion Root, who's an artist. Kind of curious to see what he's going to bring into the table. It'll be at our regular time, 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. Please keep in mind again that this was pre-recorded. We are not ignoring you. Um, we love our people.
Thanks, we love you.
So
Don't get the paper.
Anvi, you're going to take us out. Get your wands
All right,
to the ready,
and
folks.
remember this weekend, Comic Conroe. Hope to see you guys there. And the Magic Maker meetup in your Harry Potter Hogwarts best Saturday at my table. I'll have the green screen hopefully all set up too, so we can get some fun pictures and come say hi. And we have the raffle going on, so definitely come check that out. Love you guys. Till next time, mischief managed. Bye.